a desolate universe, humanity clings to survival on Zorathia, a dead world haunted by Earth's memory. Commander Elena Voss uncovers a mythic vault holding secrets to humanity's resurgence. Will she lead her people to reclaim their legacy against the Galactic Syndicate's wrath? Dive into this epic tale of defiance and hope. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more captivating videos and inspire us to create even more amazing content. Zorathia was a dead world, but it was humanity's last. The skies, once filled with the hum of bustling cities, now only reflected the barren expanse of an empty universe, a wasteland where the memory of Earth still lingered in every cracked stone and in the silence that hung like a shroud over the human survivors. 1 million souls remained, a fraction of humanity's former glory, scattered in underground bunkers that cut deep into the planet's dying surface. They had learned to survive. Barely. Commander Elena Voss stood at the edge of the ruins, her silhouette cast against the dying light of the distant sun. The world she had known, Earth, was gone. The people, the cities, the hope, it had all been reduced to dust. 00 years ago by the Galactic Syndicate, a betrayal that had shattered human civilization. But Elena was different now, hardened by years of scavenging the debris of a dead world. She was not just a survivor, she was a leader. And today, she felt something stir in her. Hope. Commander. A voice broke her from her reverie. Sergeant Caleb Moore, her second in command, approached, holding a glowing map projected from his wrist pad. The vault's location is confirmed. We're ready. Elena didn't respond right away, her mind racing through the implications. The vault had been a myth until now, buried deep beneath the sands, hidden by the Syndicate's wrath, was the key to humanity's resurgence. The vault was rumored to contain Project Resurgence, an ancient, classified initiative to preserve humanity's greatest achievements. They had to find it. It was their last shot. A team of engineers and soldiers, equipped with scavenged tech, moved out under her command. The mission was risky. Zorathia's hostile environment made everything from the atmosphere to the terrain a challenge. But Elena had seen nothing but empty deserts for years. She was hungry for change. The vault was their future, and she wasn't about to let it slip through her fingers as the team navigated the treacherous sandstorms. Elena felt the surge of something she hadn't allowed herself to feel for far too long. Determination. Humanity was no longer cowering in fear. Today, they would begin the fight to reclaim their legacy. The entrance to the vault was buried beneath layers of sand and rock. No simple task to uncover, but the humans had their tools, their resolve, and a purpose. Elena Voss watched as the engineers worked swiftly, laser cutters and gravity-driven drills tearing through the ancient barriers. The machines, cobbled together from the scraps of old Earth's technology and the few alien innovations they'd scavenged from the Valtherons, hummed with a quiet precision. The vault was there. They could feel it, just beyond the surface, hidden in the depths like a secret waiting to be revealed. After hours of painstaking labor, the earth trembled for a brief moment, followed by the heavy clunk of metal doors slowly rising from the ground. A low hiss escaped the vault as it opened, the ancient seals breaking under the pressure of a forgotten age. Elena stepped forward, her breath catching in her throat. Inside, the vault was a cavern of forgotten knowledge, gleaming, sterile, untouched by time. Holographic interfaces flickered to life, revealing vast maps of humanity's history, blueprints for impossible starships, and alien technologies that defied the known laws of physics. But what caught Elena's attention first was the quantum AI that activated as they entered, its core buzzing to life with a soft hum. A deep voice echoed in the cavern. "Welcome, humans. You have finally arrived." Elena's heart raced. It was not just a relic. This was a testament to humanity's brilliance. The AI revealed Earth's true history. The Syndicate's betrayal was deliberate. Earth had been targeted, destroyed not by human error, but because the Syndicate feared the potential of human ingenuity. Earth was obliterated to prevent the rise of a species they couldn't control. The AI projected holograms of Earth's cities. New York, Tokyo, Rio, all reduced to ash. Elena's fist clenched. Anger surged through her veins. The technology here can rebuild what was lost. The AI explained, starships, weapons, power beyond anything you have known. Humanity was no longer the underdog. They were ready to rise. The vault had revealed more than just knowledge. It had unlocked a future for humanity. The Defiant was born not from a single mind, but from the combined brilliance of humanity's finest engineers and the alien ingenuity of the Valtharans. Over the course of a decade, Zorathia's underground bunkers transformed into bustling manufacturing centers. Elena Voss watched as massive forges, built into the deep craters of Zorathia, spit fire and molten metal, casting the skeletal frame of the Defiant. The ship was humanity's answer to the Syndicate's brutality, a symbol of defiance in every welded seam. Dimensions. The Defiant was 200 meters long, more than 5 times the size of any civilian vessel. Its frame was forged from a hybrid of human steel alloys and Valtharan crystal metal, making it almost impervious to conventional weapons. The AI provided the designs, sleek, aerodynamic, and lethal. It was a masterpiece of adaptive tech, powered by a quantum core that manipulated gravitational fields, allowing the ship to move with an agility previously unthinkable for vessels of its size. The ship's weapon systems were beyond anything in human history. Phase cannons that could vaporize capital ships with a single shot, and gravity torpedoes capable of warping space itself to crush enemy vessels. It was a weapon born from desperation, but forged with human brilliance. Elena stood on the bridge of the partially completed Defiant, feeling the pulse of the ship beneath her boots. Her hands gripped the armrests as the AI projected a simulated mission brief. "The Syndicate will not expect us to strike with such force," the AI's voice said, projecting data across the bridge. "We have the advantage of surprise. The Nexus hub is vulnerable." The Valtharan engineers, a strange yet loyal ally, worked alongside the humans, adapting their technology to suit their new comrades. The alien species, who once viewed humanity with skepticism, now marveled at the humans' ability to quickly integrate and innovate. Elena's voice broke the silence. "We strike now. The galaxy will remember Earth's name." And so, the Defiant moved, its engines igniting for the first time, heading straight for the Syndicate's heart. The Defiant glided through the vastness of space, its stealth systems fully engaged. In the distance, the Nexara hub loomed, a massive, heavily fortified space station, the heart of the Galactic Syndicate's operations. The Syndicate's arrogance had led them to believe their control was unchallenged, that no one, especially not the humans, could ever dare to strike at their core, but they were wrong. Elena Voss stood in the center of the bridge, her eyes locked on the digital star chart. Her fingers danced across the console, coordinating with the fleet of ships that had quietly assembled in the shadows of uninhabited moons. The fleet was a mix of human and Valtharan ships, each one uniquely equipped with technology scavenged from across the galaxy. They had the element of surprise, and they would use it to its fullest. The Defiant was the flagship, but it was not alone. Fleet Commander Tyrell Cole led a smaller squadron of advanced stealth ships, each equipped with phased cloaking devices that rendered them nearly invisible to Syndicate scanners. The plan was simple: approach undetected, disable the station's primary defenses, and strike fast before the Syndicate could react. Elena's voice was cold and commanding. "Target the external defense grid first. Disable their primary weapon systems. We won't get a second chance." Her words echoed through the fleet's comms as the human and Valtharan crews prepared for the first true test of their combined might. The Defiant was a technological marvel, its quantum engines pushing it beyond anything the Syndicate could predict. As the fleet neared the Nexara hub, the first phase of the plan went into motion. The Syndicate's outer defenses, railgun turrets and sentinel drones, had been designed to prevent large-scale attacks, but they weren't prepared for humanity's adaptability. The Defiant fired its gravity torpedoes, destabilizing the space around the defensive satellites, causing them to implode in spectacular bursts of light. Within seconds, the fleet surged forward. Syndicate ships scrambled, but it was already too late. Elena watched as the Defiant tore through their ranks, its phase cannons obliterating any ship that dared to stand in their way. Full throttle to the hub, No mercy, Elena commanded. The Defiant and its fleet charged, humanity's wrath manifesting in every move. Their advanced technology and brilliant tactics overpowering the Syndicate's arrogance. The first strike had begun, and it was devastating. The battle for the Nexara hub had been swift and brutal. Within hours of striking, the Syndicate's defenses had crumbled, and their outer fleet scattered like leaves before a storm. The Defiant stood victorious, its hull still glowing from the intensity of the battle. However, victory had come at a steep price. Elena Voss paced the bridge, her eyes scanning the damage reports. The battle had cost them dearly. 26 ships were either destroyed or severely damaged, and the Defiant itself had taken critical hits to its upper hull. Despite the advancements in human and Valtheran technology, the Syndicate's counterattack had been fierce, and their retaliation had left a scar on the fleet. Status report. Elena's voice cut through the tension. Lieutenant Mira Holt, standing at the tactical console, grimly turned toward her. Commander, the Defiant took several direct hits from their Dreadnought's plasma cannons. We're down to 68% operational capacity on our shields. Several critical systems are still offline. We can't take another engagement like that. Elena's jaw tightened. Victory had been achieved, but at a cost that threatened to undo everything. The Syndicate might have lost the battle, but they would not stay down for long. She could already imagine the fury they would unleash in retaliation. Elena, Commander Tyrell Cole called from across the bridge, his voice grave. Our fleet's in rough shape. The Valtharans did their part, but we need more time to recover. We need to strike again before the Syndicate can regroup. She nodded. Time was not a luxury they had. Humanity had been driven to the brink of extinction. But now, with the knowledge from the Vault and the weaponry of old Earth and alien technology, they had become a force to be reckoned with. Yet, the war was far from over. We keep moving forward, Elena said, turning back to the tactical display. We strike while they're vulnerable. Prepare for the next phase. The Nexara hub had fallen, but the true battle had just begun. Humanity's resolve would not falter. The Nexara hub was still burning when the next revelation came. It came in the form of a data stream, a deep dive into the Vault's secrets. The quantum AI had unlocked something they hadn't expected. Earth, their Earth, had not been destroyed. It was hidden, preserved. Elena Voss stood in front of the main console, her fingers hovering over the holographic display as the AI's words resonated through the room. The data was overwhelming. Her mind struggled to keep pace as images of Earth appeared, pristine and unscathed, floating within a pocket dimension. A parallel reality so carefully crafted that it had remained invisible to the Syndicate's most advanced scanners. Earth is alive, the AI confirmed, its voice echoing like a distant memory. Not destroyed, but preserved by the Elither. Elena's breath caught. The Elither, the mysterious, ancient alien race, had intervened when the Syndicate's Omega Directive had sought to wipe out humanity completely. The AI projected a model of Terra-Vita, Earth reborn under the Elithar's watch. The cities they had lost, New York, Tokyo, Paris, had been carefully reconstructed in this alternate dimension, safeguarded and hidden beyond the reach of the Syndicate. The humans that had perished were gone, but the Elithar had woven human and alien DNA together to create a new Earth, untouched by the flames of betrayal. But there was more. The Elither had not just saved the planet. They had designed Terra-Vita to be a paradise, a sanctuary where nature flourished, where human culture was preserved, and where humanity could one day return. But there was a catch. The Syndicate's Omega Directive is designed to erase humanity from the timeline. The AI explained, its voice growing somber. If they succeed, Earth will never be known to the galaxy again. The Elither cannot protect it forever. Elena clenched her fists, her mind racing. Earth was alive, but it was a secret so dangerous that its existence could unravel everything. The Syndicate would stop at nothing to ensure that humanity would remain lost, wiped from the records of the galaxy, erased from history. Elena's resolve hardened. She couldn't let the Syndicate succeed. Not again. The battle was no longer just for revenge. It was for humanity's future. Earth was more than just a home. It was their legacy, and it was time to reclaim it. Prepare the fleet, Elena ordered, her voice cold and resolute. "We're going to Terra-Vita." The fleet surged through space, its destination clear. Terra-Vita, the Earth humanity had long believed to be lost, was no longer just a symbol of hope. It was now the battleground for the final confrontation against the Galactic Syndicate and their relentless desire to erase humanity from the universe. Elena Voss stood on the bridge of the Defiant, the heart of the human fleet, her eyes fixed on the star chart as it flickered to life. The Calathar Spire, the Syndicate's last stronghold, loomed ahead. It was a gargantuan structure, located in the heart of Syndicate space, protected by an armada of ships and an impenetrable defense grid. Intelligence from the vault had confirmed that this was where the Omega Directive was housed, where the final phase of humanity's erasure from the galaxy would take place. The Syndicate had invested everything in the Spire, believing that once humanity was erased from existence, they could finally control the galaxy unchallenged. But the Syndicate underestimated humanity's resolve. Status report. Elena's voice rang through the tense silence of the bridge. Lieutenant Mira Holt was the first to speak, her fingers rapidly tapping commands into the console. "Fleet is at 90% readiness. We have 79 ships in total, including 14 Valtharan dreadnoughts and 12 stealth cruisers. We're cloaked, but once we engage, our position will be compromised. We can't hide for long, understood?" Elena replied, her gaze never leaving the view screen. "We'll hit them hard and fast." The Defiant and its fleet of mixed human and Valtharan ships would need to breach the Calathar Spire's defenses in one precise strike. They couldn't afford a prolonged battle. The Syndicate's countermeasures were designed to overwhelm an enemy through sheer numbers. Humanity had only one chance to make it count. The Defiant was the spearhead of the attack, its gravity torpedoes primed for launch. Elena's fingers hovered over the targeting console as the fleet entered range. The Syndicate's defense grid was formidable. Quadruple-layered shields, railgun emplacements, and automated drone swarms patrolled the space around the spire. But the humans were ready, using the Syndicate's arrogance against them. They had adapted human and Valtharan technologies to create a false signature that mimicked a much smaller fleet. The Syndicate never saw them coming. "On my mark," Elena said, her voice sharp. The tension in the room was palpable. "Engage." The Defiant unleashed a torrent of gravity torpedoes, blasts that bent the fabric of space itself, collapsing enemy shields with brutal efficiency. The phase cannons of the Valtharan ships followed, disintegrating the Syndicate's outer defenses in a series of explosive bursts. The human fleet charged forward, emerging from their cloaking just as the Syndicate's remaining fleets scrambled to intercept them. The Calathar Spire fired back, releasing devastating waves of energy and heavy ordnance. But it was too late. The fleet was already on the offensive. The Defiant, under Elena's precise command, weaved through the onslaught, unleashing calculated strikes against the Syndicate's command structures. The battle raged for hours, with ships breaking apart in spectacular displays of fire and debris. The gravity torpedoes were relentless, tearing through Syndicate ships with a force that left them crippled before they could retaliate. The stealth cruisers darted in and out of the fray, their cloaking technology allowing them to strike with pinpoint accuracy before vanishing again into the chaos. The Omega Directive was within their grasp, but victory, Elena knew, would come at a cost. The Syndicate would never surrender without a final act of desperation, and soon the humans would find out just how far the Syndicate was willing to go to erase them. But in this moment, as explosions rocked the void and the Defiant tore through the heart of the Syndicate's defenses, one thing was certain: humanity was no longer a race to be wiped out. They were a force, and they would not be denied. The Calathar Spire was in flames. The human fleet had shattered its defenses, and now the heart of the Galactic Syndicate was crumbling. But the battle was far from over. The Omega Directive was still active, and the Syndicate's final weapon, a last-ditch attempt to erase humanity from the galaxy, was in motion. Elena Voss stood on the bridge of the Defiant, her expression hard as stone. The Syndicate had not gone down quietly. Their remaining fleets, damaged but not defeated, rallied for one final strike. Yet, humanity had already seized the initiative. The battle had shifted from raw destruction to precision warfare, and it was clear that human ingenuity had once again outmatched the Syndicate's brute force. Targeting the Omega Directive, Elena ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos that raged outside the ship's reinforced hull. Full power to the phase cannons. Lieutenant Mira Holt responded immediately. We're in range. Commander, the directive is housed in the central core of the spire. Shields are at 63%, but we have the advantage. Syndicate ships are regrouping. But we've already disabled their primary reactors. The Syndicate was on the brink, but their counterattack was swift. Their dreadnoughts, heavily armored and bristling with weapons, broke through the human fleet's lines. But the Defiant and its allies, Valtharan and human ships, had already set the stage for their final move. A squadron of stealth cruisers, led by Commander Tyrell Cole, had maneuvered into position. These ships, equipped with the most advanced cloaking technology, now targeted the spire's core. The cloaking was so effective that not even the Syndicate's best scanners could pick them up. In perfect synchronization, the fleet's gravity torpedoes hit the spire's shields, causing ripples of distortion that weakened its defenses. Phase cannons locked, Elena said, and with a grim smile, she pressed the final button. A beam of focused energy erupted from the Defiant, slamming into the heart of the spire. It was a strike of precision, a weapon capable of tearing apart the Syndicate's control center with surgical precision. The explosion that followed was a brilliant flash, sending shockwaves through space, obliterating the Omega Directive, and with it, the Syndicate's ability to manipulate history itself. Victory was achieved, but it was bittersweet. The war was over, but the price had been steep. As the last remnants of the Syndicate's fleet retreated, Elena knew this would be remembered as humanity's finest hour. The battle for Earth's future had been won, but the scars of the struggle would remain forever etched in the galaxy's history. The final remnants of the Galactic Syndicate fleet scattered into the void, broken and scattered like dust in the wind. Elena Voss stood on the command deck of the Defiant, her eyes fixed on the horizon of Terra-Vita, the Earth that humanity had never given up on, the Earth that had been hidden from them for centuries. It was no longer the devastated world that had once burned beneath the Syndicate's cruelty. Terra-Vita was a paradise, restored by the ancient Elithar, woven with human and alien DNA to create a perfect reflection of what Earth had been. From the lush jungles of the Amazon to the towering spires of New York, every city, every forest, was a testament to human resilience and the unyielding will to survive. Commander, Lieutenant Mira Holt called, her voice a mix of awe and disbelief. We're approaching Terra-Vita's atmosphere. The Elithar are signaling for us to land. The human fleet, 79 ships strong, moved in unison, the Defiant leading the charge. The ships' once battered hulls now gleamed, their shields reinforced by alien and human technology alike. The scars of battle were there, but they were badges of honor, a sign of the indomitable spirit that had propelled humanity forward. The Elithar awaited them in orbit, their ships resembling graceful, alien moths, their technology far more advanced than anything the Syndicate had ever known. The Elithar had watched over humanity's rebirth, keeping Terra-Vita hidden until the time was right. As the Defiant broke through the cloud cover of Terra-Vita, Elena could see it clearly now. The cities of Earth, sprawling and magnificent, the oceans sparkled beneath the sunlight, and the rivers wound their way through vast forests, untouched by the ravages of war. This is where it ends, Elena whispered to herself. Her fingers hovered over the console, and with a single command, the fleet descended. The ships landed softly, their quantum engines allowing them to touch down with zero impact on the ground. As the hatches opened, Elena stepped onto the soil of Terra-Vita, the rich scent of Earth's rebirth filling her lungs. Humanity had returned, and this time, they would rebuild not as survivors, but as legends. Earth is ours again, Elena said, her voice full of pride. We will rebuild, stronger than before, and the stars themselves would never forget the name of humanity.